Good morning, friends. Welcome to Cherry Lane. My name is Tracy Taylor, and I'm here in Caronport, Saskatchewan, Canada, on a beautiful morning. It's trying to be sunny. I'm just peeking out the window there. We are, getting into those, what do we call it, dog days of summer, right? Where the nights are cooler, the mornings are cooler, but it warms up during the day. So it's lovely. Yesterday, I had an absolutely fantastic day, and the whole 2 or 3 days before that, I had a bunch of fantastic days. So today, I'm kind of decompressing a little bit from all my fun. So last weekend, on Sunday, I flew out to Calgary and went to a Stampin' Up! Leaders Conference in Calgary and had the best time. I honestly can't believe how much I learned. Hopefully I can implement some of those wonderful things that I learned. I have to review my notes. There was a lot of information coming at us. The actual learning part of the conference was one day, and it was a very full day, but it was fabulous. Brian Pilling from our head office in Utah came up, and Genevieve Coe, she's changed the name now, just a minute, field success manager from Toronto, came out. So we had just a really, really fabulous time. There was 27 Canadian demonstrators there, and it's such a privilege to have a company like Stampin' Up! To work for. We have many, many, many opportunities, but they are fabulous at putting most of our learning online for us after the fact. So a lot of things, because we are a global company, are, taught online even, but we have various places on our website that we can go and review because there's always so much fabulous information. So I would encourage you, if you think that this is the time that you are interested in direct sales, maybe you just want to be somebody that can purchase your crafting product a little cheaper and at a discount, then being a demo is your key. But the thing is, we sometimes think, oh, I could never sell. I could never sell that. I could never teach a class. I could never do this. Do you know what? There's so much support that if you had a friend who was interested in making a card and you didn't know how to do it, there are hundreds of us that you can ask and we can help you with that first class. So I would encourage you, think about it. If you are really interested in paper crafting, whether it be scrapbooking or card making or both, Stampin' Up! Is for you. It is wonderful. The quality of our product is amazing. And yeah, I would just encourage you to look into it. Talk to me. I can give you all kinds of information, certainly no pressure at all. But if you have questions, give me a shout. You can just message me either in the comments or privately, and I'll get back to you right away. All right, so we did some really fun things, and at the end of our time together, we had some creative time, and we made some what we call shoebox swaps. So the way that works is you have a little box, you have your sample card, and then you have all the things that you need. So you've pre-cut the card base, the layers, any die cutting, any embossing as far as heat embossing. We can't do any stamping, so you put the block and the stamps that are needed if there is any, and the ink, and people bring their own glue and little toolkits, so that's easy. And then you create your cards together. So it was really fun, and you don't necessarily know who you're sitting beside. Like, you just sit down at a table and there's 6 people at a table. So you have 5 swaps. So you're number 1, right? And it gets passed to the left. And then all the other ones come to you and you create them. And when you get back to your box, it should be empty. Hello, Patricia. Welcome here. I hope you're having a beautiful sunny summer day. We are attempting to. We have a little bit of smoke now. We haven't had too much. This summer has been pretty good, but the west of us is really suffering. BC, they've had terrible, terrible fires. And I imagine there are some in northern Saskatchewan, but we haven't seen a lot of smoke up until just the last few days. So our skies are a bit hazy. It's not terrible. Calgary was really heavy smoke. So it was good to be inside. I'm at that point where my seasonal allergies have just hit me with a bang. And being at a flower garden yesterday didn't help. We went to the Boho Flower Farm in Loreburn, Saskatchewan. So it's about not quite an hour and a half from my house. I picked up gals along the way, and there was 4 of us, and we went and picked gorgeous bouquets, huge. Now, I know I have my fakies here. I didn't think to bring my flowers out. My bouquet, it's huge. It's really, really big. In fact, I have it in the largest vase I have, and I am actually going to redo it and do small ones. And I might even share some with my neighbors because it just seems like a waste to cram them all into one. But beautiful, and she had some really nice filler items. If you've watched me for long, you know that anytime that there's Queen Anne's lace in a stamp or die, I'm on it, because that is something that grows at home in our ditches. And it's almost similar to dill in the look, like that big round kind of pod at the top, or not pod, but anyway, seed thing. Except it had tiny little white flowers on that, and it's so beautiful. So she had some of that, so I did pick 2 or 3 of those, and she had a really fun, I believe it's called Exploding Fountain Grass, I think. I tried to look it up last night. So, and it's, how can I explain it? You know those things when you're a kid and they're fiber optic, and they kind of and flop, and then the little fiber optics, little lights go out to the end. It's almost like that. Like it's so airy and pretty. It's really nice to tuck in. And then there was zinnias and snapdragons and sunflowers and I don't know, all kinds of flowers that I didn't know actually. So it was really very fun. We picked, and you could pick anything you want. And she tells you, like, pick long so that when you go to arrange it, you can trim them. And yeah, we just had a beautiful time. And then we went for a picnic at a provincial park. And it was so exciting because I got my seniors tag. So if you're 65 or over in Canada, you can go to any provincial park for free. But you get a little tag to it hangs on your mirror, and it's your free pass. So we all went in and had our lovely picnic, and I have my pass now, and we are going camping, so that'll be great. Get into the park for free. And what else did we do? Oh, and then when we were dropping off, the first girl invited us in for coffee. So we went in for coffee. Well, she had a crate of peaches. I honestly don't think I've ever had such a sweet, delicious peach in my life. So we had peaches and coffee. It was wonderful. And she sent a few home, so I had peaches for breakfast too. So there was my busy last few days, and I know I've not been on, so I am here and will attempt to be here. There's lots of things I want to talk to you about and show you. I am hosting a Violet Dreams workshop on the 22nd. Now it is Saturday the 22nd. I believe one of my pop-ups had the wrong day. It said Friday the 22nd. It is Saturday the 22nd. Because I've been away and I went ahead and ordered some paper, I have space. So I do have 1 or 2 spaces left for that class. It is from 9:30 to 12:30, so it won't take up your whole day. And if you are interested in joining, please let me know right away. The cost of the class is $40, and you get some product with that, so it's always nice. You'll walk away and be able to create some cards afterwards as well as written tutorials, okay? So I'm gonna flip us down, and we'll look at a few newsy things because, I've been away. So here we go. Here's the Violet Dreams. Okay, so it's August 22nd, 9:30 to 12:30, and it's located here at my studio. I am extending that to today. Okay, so if anybody didn't get on it and wants to come, let me know. All right. We also have our Cozy Creations retreat. Now this is in September, and I have an early bird deadline, which is a discounted registration. So it's $110 if you register before the 15th, okay? And after the 15th, it's $125. It is 2 days. It is the Friday and the Saturday, September 25th and 6th. It includes 3 meals, as well as a wonderful swag bag. You'll have all kinds of product to play with to go along with the tutorials and classes, okay? You can also bring any projects that you're working on. There is lots of time, okay? So it's not gonna be bang, 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 constant information coming at you. This is intended to be a relaxing, creative, fun time with friends. And I have had really good reports from our last 2 retreats, so I believe that we should be able to just have a great time together. So that is coming up September 25th and 6th here in Caronport, Saskatchewan. I have the privilege of being in a college town, so we have marvelous facilities. Good morning, Elaine. Welcome. And great classroom areas that we can use. The one that I have booked is fabulous. And yeah, really looking forward to it. So if you can join us for that, please register. You can take a screenshot. I'll bring it up even a little closer for you at cherrylane.stampin@gmail.com. And if you send me a message, I will send you the link and you can have all the registration information. Okay? Then in September, we have a new catalog coming out. And I am going to be doing a quarter pack paper share and an ephemera share. So that gives you 6 by 12 of all of the DSPs that are being included. There are a few from the catalog that I'm not putting in. I'm focusing on the Christmas and fall themed papers, and we'll work together and have all kinds of things that we can do with those. The ephemera pack also comes with 5 coordinating card and envelopes, so that's a half pack of the card and envelope set that's being offered in the catalog. If you are interested, reserve your spot. It gives me an idea how many I need to be ordering when the time comes. And it's a great way to get a taste of the paper and not have to order it all. And it's much cheaper because you don't have to buy every single one of the papers and get 2 sheets of everything. You get a quarter of a pack. So a quarter of a pack is half of a sheet of DSP or designer paper, our pattern paper. Okay, so that is fun. The new paper pumpkin coming out is called Aspens of Gratitude, and it just went live, was it yesterday? 2 days ago. So you can go on and order paper pumpkin on the website. I'd love it if you shop with me if you don't have a demonstrator. And you can order paper pumpkin either on a month-to-month, a 3-month, 6-month, or 12-month subscription. It's really nice when you do the subscriptions. They always advertise ahead, so you see kind of what's coming out. You don't see the full pack, but you get an idea. And look at this beautiful watercolor picture. Like that is going to be a beautiful set for fall. But you always get a hint. So if you see something that you think, oh, you know, I'm not interested in that one, or maybe you're going to be away for a couple of months in the south, then you can just suspend it. And when you come back, you can get it going again and pick up on your subscription. So you don't lose anything ever, okay? So that is a beautiful one. It's going to be gorgeous. So if you're interested in paper pumpkin, I love to create along with my folks that are in paper pumpkin. We'll have a little club and we'll do maybe some alternatives that would go along with it. All right. And then the product of the month for September is this, or sorry, for August. I'm ahead of myself. For August is this beautiful Glow of Harvest paper. Now I'm going to bring it up again. So it has all these cute little, very neutral patterns. But the fun thing is the paper has a lovely shimmer to it. So it's almost like just a little soft vanilla shimmer on all of these pages. They are one-sided, but you get 12 of each. And they're beautiful, beautiful. You can do some fussy cutting, cut out your pumpkins, cut out some flowers and make a spray. They're gorgeous, gorgeous paper. Okay, so that's the Glow of Harvest. And the way that works is when your order exceeds $100 for the first time, you can order the product of the month. And a prompt comes up, you click it, and then you have to click it again to order it. Okay, so it's $7 and you get that beautiful paper, which is a really, really good deal. We also have currently a sale on our Designer Series paper, and this goes until August 31st. It's select papers and cardstock. So check your cupboard and see if there's any colors that you're missing or that you're getting low on, and check against the website and see if those ones are being offered. There are quite a few, and I would suggest ordering sooner than later because things move very, very quickly. All right, now I want to show you some of the swap cards that I made, and just to give you some fun ideas. Usually swap cards are not overly involved. I did notice when I took some pictures that there were a few people that made some pretty elaborate swaps, and that's always fun, but not necessary. So yeah, it is just really fun to participate in a shoebox swap. I'm just going to try and pull up. I had something.
Okay.
Oh,
I found this on the web for just really fun to participate in a shoebox swap.
Apparently Siri has a man's voice now. All right. Let me just try and open up. I had another thing I wanted to show you here. Oh, and now it's gone. Okay. Anyways, I won't worry about it. It was just the little ink spots. As of September, the ink spots are the new style, so they're a little bit longer than our little tiny square ones. And well, this is our old style, okay? And they were in like a little clear case. The new ones are just a little bit longer in a solid white case, but they open like our new magnetic cases. So they're basically a mini version of our magnetic ones, but they're not magnetic. They're just small, okay? But they're rectangle and very easy to open, which is good. I know a lot of us have trouble with our hands, so it's going to make life a whole lot easier. And they're now coming out in that styles from going forward in September. So that'll be lots of fun, and there's lots of nice colors. So you can, sometimes, you know, rather than ordering a full ink pad, you can order the ink spot and then the refill ink, and you've got more for your buck, right, in some ways. So anyway, here we are. This was the swap that I created, actually, and I used the plaid embossing folder at the back and then sanded with my little sanding block to reveal the white core of the two-tone early espresso. And then I used a blending brush in Lost Lagoon to give us this little green, hint of green. And there is Lost Lagoon in some of this DSP. Now, this is a hint for you. This is paper that's coming out in September, and one of the beautiful fall harvest papers. So beautiful. Also, you'll notice the shimmer on the Thinking of You, and that is the new foil. So isn't that lovely? And this particular set has a number of sentiments that are nice and big. So they're about 2.5 by almost 3 inches. So nice big sentiments for the fronts of cards. And then just a little decoration on the inside. So that was my swap. So ladies got to make that one. Now this one is really pretty. And I should have the papers pulled up because these are some of the new papers, which is really fun too. When you're doing swaps, often you use current or new products so that people have items to show, and I really appreciated that. So this one is a beautiful set of paper that is really pretty, and it's also the one that Stampin' Up! Donates. So every year in this season, they will choose one set of DSP that if you order it, they donate, I think it's $4 to a charity of your choice. So, and it's different value in different markets, but it's a good chunk. And yeah, so it's very nice. So it's always nice to order that one because you know it's going to a good cause. And then there was some die cuts and stamping. And here we go. And again. So very fun. So this here, she had die cut the solids, but she can't do the stamping. So she just gave us white. We stamped it and then we fussy cut it. So that was fine. And I had room on my white to do two. So I stamped one for the inside as well. All right. Now this one is the beautiful balloons. Aren't they pretty? And she embossed them with the new folder that's got stars and swirls and really fun. So yeah, so that was a really pretty one. Love this paper. What's that called? An Ordinary Life or something? Beautiful Ordinary Life. I think that's what it's called. And this one here, again, is one of the new fall papers and one of the new folders. Now, if you have a mini cut emboss, like this one, the little guys, then you need the smaller embossing folders. So for this catalog, they have released a set of 3. One has fall leaves, one has candy canes, and I can't off the top of my head tell you what the third one is, but something seasonal. So yeah, really fun. And then you can just keep your little collection of folders and you've always got lots to choose from. These tiny little stamps are stamped in a cluster, and then we use the Wink of Stella on them. I don't know if you can see the shimmer, but yeah, it was fun. So just a really, see, this is a very good example of a swap card. So we have a base, we have a mat, we have 2 pieces, one embossed, one DSP. Then she's used paper as a ribbon and tucked it under, and then gave us some twine, and then a label that is matted. So when you break it down, it's a simple card, but it looks beautiful. So there you go. All right, and then this one is in some ways a similar design, only reversed, I guess. Oh, wait a minute. This one was one, yeah, so this one here, if you look carefully, you'll see there's a piece here that's different than this piece. And so when you go to a shoebox swap, typically you don't have a trimmer there because everything's pre-done. And she did measure this wrong. So there should be a gap here. And I could have trimmed it, but I didn't worry about it. I just butted them up against each other. They were fine. And then this piece. So this was 3 different pieces of the DSP and one of the new labels. Now, you might recognize this sort of picot around here from the Spotlight on Nature dies, which are circle dies. This is a set of square dies. So I am super excited. I have them on the way, but they're a few days away yet. Good morning, Marsky. Late to the card party. That's okay. Lots of information, more than anything. Telling them all about my great time in Calgary and my wonderful day yesterday at the flower farm. It was just wonderful. So yeah, so that gives you an idea what shoebox swap cards are all about. So it's super fun. And so many different ideas too. Like you just can't believe. I took pictures and we'll post a few more on my page from the ones that we created with. Okay, so today I'm going to use the Framed Violets collection, and the paper is called Violet Dreams, and that's why my workshop is called Violet Dreams. So we are going to use this today and create a card for you, and that will be fun. All right. So here we go. All right, I've already gone ahead and pre-done some of this. Now, I can see, I don't know if you can, that my trimmer was a little dull the last time when I was doing some bulk cutting. So we are going to just take a little, this is just an emery board, but you can use those little sanding blocks. They work great. And Stampin' Up! Is coming out with a set of 2. So we won't have to go searching for them, which will be nice. All right, so let's just open this. So this is half of a sheet of cardstock in Secret C. It is 8.5 across, 5.5 deep, and it is scored at 4 1/4, so half of 8.5, okay? And then this is some Fresh Freesia Glimmer paper. Now, this paper is not current. There is some shimmery paper that's similar, and I didn't have it. I thought I did. So I went looking and I found this. And so it's the same. It's a color that is in the paper. So we're going to put that one down first. And I believe that I've shown you this before. I'm not sure if I did, but so I went ahead with scrap paper and made a little sort of selection, that not this, but I'm just showing you how I did it. A little selection of papers that were not the same color, all of them. Okay, so I had like color A, color B, color C, and then I just repeated. And what I did was I would cut a piece. So here's an example of a mat. This is a typical mat that is a size that we use often. So it's 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so it's a step down. And if you look, I'll slide it over to the fold on the bottom. You'll see that you have 1/4 inch. Okay, and then the next one, I would cut 1/4 inch smaller. And the next one, 1/4 inch smaller. So I did this the opposite way, but you'll see. So it would kind of look like this. All the way down to as little. Now, the little wee ones you might use as a label sometime, okay? Then I punched a hole and put them all together. And the nice thing about these is you can take those then when you're thinking of a card that you want to make and say, oh, what size mat would I like? What's that? Oh, well, what if I layered something a little smaller on it? What if I did this? And so you can play with those pieces, then put them all back on. It's helpful if you write on them the size so that you can get them back in. You can do 1/8 measures if you like to play that way. I do sometimes, so it's up to you. But 1/4 inch gives you a good idea, and then you can decide at that point if you want a 1/8 less layer and just do it yourself. You don't need to have the example. But that's a really handy tool for your craft room, and we all have either scraps or old cardstock kicking around that you can make your little bundle and put it on one of those little D-rings, or it's not D-rings, but binder rings. Okay, so there's my shimmery layer. Now I'm going to cover up a lot of this, and I typically don't do this when I do lives, but I think I'm going to start. You could have cut something out of here, and a good example of what to cut would be possibly using these dies. Okay, so I could cut that and have an oval, or I could put this one on the inside and have an oval frame and then another piece. And you can see, you can make this single piece here go miles. Okay, so when you have really beautiful paper, maybe don't cover it up. Cut something out of the middle. It's going to be covered anyway. You're not going to know that you've taken that out and you're making the most of your paper. So yeah, I should have maybe done that as an example, but I didn't. All right, so now I have another layer and I've cut it, it's 2 times down. Okay, so it's a 1/2 inch down. So you can see it's gonna give us a larger border all the way around. And this looks like maybe it isn't exactly, but that's okay. All right, and then again, I've got a shimmer layer. Again, I could have cut from there. And this card is going to be really sturdy. I won't do too much popping up because that might make a problem going through the mail when it's got lots of layers and then lots of dimensional layers. So we'll try and keep her a little simpler. And then I've got this beautiful piece of designer paper, and it's got the clusters of wood violets. So it's got both the purple and a lighter color. I actually have both purple and white in my yard. They grow under the cherry trees. And I don't really know how wood violets show up in your yard because it's not like I planted them, but they just come. And once you get them, they're hard to get rid of. So if you don't like random things, pull them out when you see them because they do seed and they can be a little invasive. Oops, come back. I might have to let that dry and use my glue eraser because I just smeared a little bit. How's that? That looks pretty good. Let's see if I can wiggle it. There we go. That's good. All right. Now, with the Violet Dreams Designer paper, not only do you get beautiful sheets of different colored cardstock or paper stock, you also get 2 sheets of these die cuts. So you have a cluster of hydrangea hue, the light pinky color I'm using today, and what is that? Fresh Freesia, and then a very light version of Highland Heather, and then a regular Highland Heather. Okay, so you get 4 different clusters. You get all these little pieces. Now, it's hard to see that. I don't want to necessarily, here, I'll show you on this one. These pop out, but they've got a lot around the outside, so they're not quite as large. And then these ones are the centers, if you want to pop them into some of these. So that's fun. There's some that you can color. And then these labels all have a frame and another piece, a frame and another piece, okay? So they are really fun to, again, they've maximized, right? So they had the frame for you, and then they thought, oh, well, that's a waste. And then they cut something from the center. So that's exactly what I was just explaining to you. All right, so we are going to pop this one up and see. Now, you know that I have lots and lots and lots of decorative things that don't always get used up. These were from the lavender paper set when it came out. These were the coordinating gems, and I still have all of these, and look, they're all the right color. So I'm going to use those up rather than use the ones that come with this collection, which are beautiful but limited, and I want to save those to use for my class. So I'm not going to use those this morning, but let's see. I think we've probably overdone it already on that, so we'll stop. Me and my dimensionals, I get a little carried away. So how's the weather in Calgary today, Marsky? Is it still nice? Still smoky? It's always nice when that smoke clears off. Sometimes when you get rain, I know Alberta's been getting rain, but we really haven't. It was supposed to rain a bit yesterday, and there was a splash at some point when we were at the flower farm, but we didn't get it, and the road was wet when we went to the park, and the picnic table had a little, but it was a splash, truly. All right, there we go. And then, here I am with my extra glue dots. All right, so this little label is one of the, oh, why can't I ever remember the name of these? There's the banners, the circles, the squares. Oh, dear. They're a favorite, and I always forget what they're called. Anyway, I have a whole little drawer. I'll show you what I do. I have this little clear container from the dollar store. It's like supposed to be for beauty things, I think. And anytime that I'm cutting and I have like a scrap left, I'll cut some extras. And I just toss them in here. I love these. These were from an oval die that was part of that spaceship set that we, or like astronaut set that we had ages ago. And I love that shape for a sentiment. In fact, it might be nice on here. But anyway, I am going to use this little banner one. But yeah, I have lots in here that I can just go through and check and find one that's exactly what I need. So I am going to use Take Care. That can be really for any occasion, can't it? Might be that you're visiting someone and you just want to leave a little note of thanks and whatever, but we can type or put Take Care on it, and then they will know that you're thinking of them when you leave. All right, and I am going to use Garden Green on this. And to be honest, the reason I'm using Garden Green instead of Peaceful Pine, which is in here, is my Peaceful Pine is AWOL at the moment. I don't know what I've done with it, but I have to find it because I love the new in colors. So there we go. That's going to look just perfect. And I'm going to tuck part of that under. So there we go. Or maybe I'll put it, if I put it down. I always have a hard time covering up. How about you? Do you like to cover things? I just think that leaf's so pretty. If I put it here, maybe. It's not covering too much. Yeah. Oh, but then, you know what? No, I'm not. I am going to put it right here, and I'm going to trim these. Yes, because we're trying to keep this just a little lighter weight because of the heavy layers that I have on here. So there's two things that affect the postal rate. One is weight of the letter, and one is depth. If it's too thick. No, not, what am I doing? I'm not thinking here. I might, yeah, okay. I might pop that end up. So what I'll do, to think about this, is just give it a little curl, just a little, and then a little curl. Okay, and so it looks like it's a ribbon, but really we've done nothing. We haven't, you know, it's not, we haven't added ribbon, but this looks like ribbon. All right, so I'm going to put it there. And so it comes up, has the bump, so my dimensional's there, and then down. Okay, so it looks just like a little ribbon on there. Make sure it's straight. There we go. And then we'll take some of our little gems. Now I almost feel like this needs just a little bow. So let's bring in some white thread. And I usually cut it about 8 or 9 inches. And I like double bows, so I always double it. And then just do the little rabbit ear, pull it around, pull it through. Okay, now usually your tails are going to be a little short, so you're going to adjust. And then you can decide, no, I need to start a little closer to this end. Do my bunny ear around through the center. Okay, whoops. Never fails. Bunny ear through the center. Here we go. Okay, and give it a tug. And then I can adjust my tails and see if they're going to be long enough. I think so. That looks pretty good. Those a little. Now, these dimensionals are a little on the large side, but we can roll them. So I'm going to stick it on. Okay, oops. There's always a right side and a wrong side of the bow, so you just decide. It's just so it has that nice flat center. Okay, so I'm going to stick it on there, but then I'm going to roll up the sides a little bit. If you're using the dimensional or glue dots from the roll, which I should be showing you, you can roll them right on the wax sheet before you get them. So I don't know if you can see this, but there it is. Okay, so I'm just going to roll it back on itself, and then you won't see it when it goes down. All right, so there's our little bow. And then we'll take some of these beautiful gems. I can't tell you how many sheets of these I bought. I absolutely loved that there was sort of the variegation in color. So there is the darker ones, if we wanted to. These ones are almost heading to the red tones, okay? But I think I'm just going to go with the Fresh Freesia color. And let's see, we're going to tuck one right. Oops. Stay with me here. Right under here. So it's just peeking out, okay? And then put a couple up here, I think. So you do notice, like we usually use 3 or 5 or 1. Sometimes I'll use 2. If it's something that I think doesn't need a lot of extra, then I'll maybe use 2. But do you see how it just gives it just a little glimmer? And they're not, you know, in your face, popping off the page. You could, if they were lighter even, tuck them on here if you wanted to. So there's a few options. But there is an example of just layering cardstock to make your focal image on the front and then adding just something pretty to make it pop. Okay? And then for the inside, do I have a piece of cardstock? What do I have? A small piece. And you can use small. That's okay. Now, let me just see. Just looking, as you know, I haven't really been home, so I've been playing a little bit with what I have on my table here. I have... It's always nice if you dress it up a little bit. Now, this piece is a scrap. So I think what I'm going to do is, I could just do one side, just like that, and that would be okay. But if I take it and cut it on the diagonal, do that. And anytime I do this, I like to move my blade onto the paper, okay? Rather than coming from the point. And then you can go either direction and you don't crumple the point. Now this is really heavy and it likely wouldn't have crumpled, but I just feel like, you know what? I don't think that this is basic white. I think it's just a scrap. In fact, I know what it is. It was a piece that I had when I was using it as a placeholder on a scrapbook page. So I'm going to cut myself a piece. Now, I believe I've shown you this before, but I'm going to show you again. So if you cut this, let me just think about it. How do we do this? If you cut 2 and... I'm getting myself in a pickle here. 2 2/3, 2 2/3. Oh, is it right? I can't show it to you because I can't remember. There's a way that you can get 5, I think it's 4 inches. Let's try that. Okay. So we're going to do 4, and then we're going to turn it and do, I might be totally off here. 2 2/3. Hopefully it's 2 2/3 is the measurement that it's sticking in my head though. And 2 2/3 should give us 4. Yep, and that's 2 2/3. Okay, so we have 4. Now this piece, we're going to cut it to 4. And again, turning it to 2 2/3. So it's a lot smaller than what we typically do, right? We'll often do that 4 by 5 1/4 on the inside. But really, unless you have a lot of words or a big sentiment that you want to add, a small insert is nice because you don't have to think up 100 things to say or decorate the daylights out of it. You've just basically gone ahead and got out of one sheet 8 card inserts, and one of these is not trimmed properly, but we'll do that. I don't know what I did, something. Okay, so that you can then just keep a little stack and you're ready to go. So then this is going to go like that. Now you can use one, or you can come in from the other side and do another one. All right, and that just expands it just a little bit, and you can make it as big or as little as you want. But what I'm going to do is get it so it's set so that my borders are the same. Okay, so let me just do that. Okay, so that's pretty good. And I'm going to glue my corners first, and then glue the other part down. All right, so when I'm setting this on, I just want to make sure that my borders are the same on both sides. Okay, and then hold that one and go here. Make sure that they're square. There we go. And then turn the whole thing over. Oops, and I moved that, but it's Tombow, so I'll have some wiggle room. All right, so here we go. Pick it up carefully and set her down. There we go. I adjusted it, so it's good. So it also gives you kind of a little interest in your corners. Now you can decorate those corners if you choose. So you could use one of your stamps and decorate the corners, or you can bring in some of these little fun die cut things, okay, and put one of those and one of these. Now, something else to note, these also fit over top if you want to dimensionalize these, but I like to get the biggest bang for my buck, so I am going to use them individually. Okay, so then I'm covering that interesting little thing and putting one of these, and then I'm going to do the same on the top. But the top one, I'll show you. I'm going to figure out which way I want it to go first. That way. I'm going to use the bud. So there's one that's just tiny, as if it's just opening, and I'm going to put it there. So you can see that we have gone ahead and used way less cardstock for our insert and a scrap from our other cutting with the shimmer paper. And then I've also gone ahead and used these individually to get more from them as well. All right. So, and I don't think, yeah, I guess if we wanted to, we could do Sending Love on the inside as well. Okay, so let's do that. That's a pretty, there's really pretty font on this particular set. Now, I did not bring my fresh freesia over, or you could, if you wanted to, you could even stamp in here. But because I didn't bring it, we won't worry about it. And again, using our garden green, there it is. And set it out of the way because it was open. And I'm just gonna do, I did rub it on my pant leg here because this is a new stamp. So anytime that you have, there we go, a brand new stamp, it's good to condition it. It's also good to test it a couple times. And that just makes sure that any oils that might be on it from manufacturing are gone. There you go. So isn't that a pretty card? And how simple was that? I think that might have been my fastest live ever. So anyway, I hope everyone is having a marvelous day. I will check back in case anybody commented or is interested in the workshop. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful paper, beautiful stamps and dies, like such pretty designs. With this oval, it's just going to be really fun. And the stamp set itself also has the oval, which cuts with the die, so that's nice. And then there's some really interesting backgrounds. There's a happy birthday, a large violet, and a cluster. There's some stems, and then the 4 sentiments. Sorry, there's 4. There we have it. All right. Well, I am off now to make pickles. I started them before I went. They've been in a crock. They need to get canned. So that is my day. Hope you're having some kind of fun in your life. I don't know. It's the season, right? Everything gets ready at the same time. I also have a zucchini staring at me in the house, so I think I have to do something with that as well. Everyone have a wonderful day, and I look forward to being back with you next week, and we will get together again. Just watch the page. There will be an announcement for what time I'll be on. There's always things going on, so going to try and find a good time again that's a consistent time. Cheers from Cherry Lane.